only and include all-you-can-eat food, beer, and wine. Tickets are just $140. Go to lvsportsnetwork.com for the link and use the promo code RADIO. Sponsored by Glenn Lerner Injury Attorneys. In a wreck and need a check? One call. That's all. Resale and transfer are restricted on these flight deck sales. Tickets will be delivered via flash seats 48 hours before the game.
ESPN Radio invites you to our home for all the hockey action this season, Pizza Rock inside Green Valley Ranch Hotel and Casino. Come watch hockey with ESPN Radio on Pizza Rock's 80-inch big screen TVs and warm up with the tastiest happy hour kicking off at 3 p.m. with Cofield broadcasting live every week. Score $4 meatballs, $5 one-topping personal pizzas, and $4 well drinks, wine, and 32-ounce PBRs. Respect the craft and respect the game at Pizza Rock for exciting hockey action with ESPN Radio Live.
Professional football is back. It's week 2 of the Alliance of American Football. Don't miss the hard-hitting, fast-paced action as the San Antonio Commanders take on the Orlando Apollos this Sunday in the Alliance Game of the Week at 1 p.m. on Sports 920 The Game. Professional football is back. It's week 2 of the Alliance of American Football. Don't miss the hard-hitting, fast-paced action as the San Antonio Commanders take on the Orlando Apollos this Sunday in the Alliance Game of the Week at 1 p.m. on Sports 920 The Game.
Hello, friends. This is Thomas Johnson from Joe's Seafood Prime Steak and Stone Crab. Need a great idea for lunch or dinner? Your best bet is Joe's, one of the most popular dining destinations on the Strip. Joe's provides the ideal setting for private parties with accommodations for up to 150 guests. Stop by to see us at the Forum Shops at Caesars and ask for Thomas Johnson, your maitre d'.
And if you call for a reservation tonight, after they stop laughing, they might suggest
go to McDonald's.
Try another night. No, that's why I start advertising this stuff like 3 weeks out. It's like don't screw around.
Okay, here's a restaurant rule though. If you can call Valentine's night and get a reservation, don't go to that restaurant. It's not good.
Well, unless it's like 10 o'clock, something like that.
Right. I'm saying not during prime time.
Not during prime time. Joe's is amazing. Just fabulous. And by the way, glad to see that Kelly Stewart is still tweeting that she owes a dinner at Joe's, and we are going to get that dinner real soon, okay? And it's getting more expensive by the day. I keep adding items that I'm going to order.
She's got to hit one of those money line parlays and lose to.
All right. What do we have for an angle of the day? You mentioned that it's on one of the games we've already talked about.
You know, it's a totals play, and it's a team we've used before, San Diego. You know, San Diego's a slower-paced team. BYU, 6 straight unders for the Cougars. San Diego, 4-12-2 over-under their last 18 games. 6 straight unders at home, and BYU can score when they're playing an upper-pace team. So you're getting a 143 number. You're getting a lot of value. I think it's game 641, 642, under 143, San Diego and BYU.
That's Ralph Michaels. I'm Dave Cokin. Ari Platinum's at the controls, and we bring in Carmine Bianco now. He's part of the Wager Talk team, and he has just been having a great season in the NHL, always strong in soccer, so we're going to kind of focus on those two today. But we'll talk a little NBA first because you were at the Raptors game last night. Carmine, for those who's not aware, lives in Toronto. How was the Raptors game last night, and did you bet it?
Yeah, I put in that homer bet, of course, Raptors minus 9.5, and but I kind of saved myself when they were down 80 to 68. I logged into my Bet365 account, and they were plus 145 money line. So I took them, and they went on a 15-0 run, and we were pretty good after that. So even though they won by 9, didn't cover the original bet, money line more than made up for it.
Well, tonight it is us against you because the Golden Knights, they're us. We're here in Las Vegas. They're our team. You are in Toronto. The Maple Leafs are your home team, and the game being played here at T-Mobile tonight, and I think this is an absolutely huge game. Golden Knights have been struggling lately. The Maple Leafs are sizzling, really hot. They've won 5 of their last 6, and they had 56 shots on goal in the loss. How do you see this one?
Yeah, I mentioned a few games back with regards to the Leafs that they were ready to go on a run. Other than a couple of flat spots in their schedule in the next couple of weeks, and obviously the Ranger game was one of the flat spots, coming off a game in Montreal and then playing the next night
and they still
with
had
their backup goalie.
And they had 56 shots on goal in the game anyway, so they weren't flat. They just ran into a goaltender having the game of his life.
They certainly did, and I think sort of looking ahead, another one I think is when they come back from this 6-game road trip, they're going to have Washington waiting for them on a day's rest. I think that's another sort of flat spot for the Leafs with Montreal on tap, and those Montreal-Toronto games are always rivalries.
Yep.
I like the Golden Knights, and I think the Leafs' next 3 games, they're going to be physical games. Even that Arizona game, you got the Vegas game tonight, Arizona in a couple nights, and then they head off to St. Louis, who are just about beating everyone right now. The Blues are just playing they're playing playoff hockey now. Whether it's sustainable, 30 games to go or 25 games to go remains to be seen. But I think it's a good one tonight. The Knights have they've got to start picking it up. It's like you talked about earlier. They've got a very good team. It's always tough for any Canadian side coming to Vegas to play the Golden Knights. I don't know. We're going to have to see tonight. I think the Knights get the win at a short price here. I think there's like 125 right now.
Carm, question, being in Vegas, having the Disney-type season last year, do teams now put Vegas in we're going to go play Winnipeg or Toronto or Tampa Bay, one of those top teams? Do you have that feel, or do the papers report it like that this is one of the top teams in the West, or is it this is a young team that had a good year, we'll see what happens?
No, I think Vegas gets a lot of respect here, as they should. And I think any team, going to Vegas, you've got to prepare yourself for a team that forechecks well, backchecks well. They're just on you. They're very good at getting to the puck, and they've got some speed. These are the type of games where if Toronto did it a few games back against Ottawa, where they started the second period and third period, the first few minutes completely flat, and Ottawa made them pay for it. You can't do that against a Golden Knights team. You make a few mistakes against the Knights, and they'll make you pay for it.
All right. Anything else on the NHL schedule that's appealing to you tonight?
Yeah, I did put up a free play up on Wager Talk.
We'll share it with share it with our listeners.
Yeah, the Avalanche and Winnipeg. Winnipeg heading home. Again, they found their scoring last game. Colorado is just in a complete, utter funk. But, I said it, they've done this before. They hit the second half of the season after having a fairly decent first half of the season, and they just completely tank it.
You know what's weird about this?
There's just no way the Avalanche are going to go in there. But I see a game of goals here. I think the total currently sits at 6.5, and the juice on that has been trending a little higher throughout the day. But 7-4 last time they met, 5-2 the time before that. They played twice in Winnipeg, and I see some goals there tonight again.
You know what's weird about Colorado, though? And it really is weird, because for years we've seen the Denver Nuggets and the Utah Jazz, the two altitude teams in the NBA, get stronger as the season goes on, especially at home, because teams come in on weary legs and they're able to exploit that in the altitude. It's the complete opposite with the Avalanche. This team gets worse as the season goes along. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, I don't get it. I looked up and down their lineup just to see if who they have and whether they're a seller at the All-Star break, and I don't see anyone, or sorry, not the All-Star break, but before the trade deadline. Yeah. I actually don't see anybody on that lineup. I'm not sure if you see anybody, but I don't see anybody on that lineup that appeals to another team as far as...
they've only got one. They've got one good line. They're not going to deal anybody off that line.
And that's pretty much it.
And that's
right?
it, yeah.
You've got, like when we talk about teams that, sort of need to make some moves, Columbus, Boston, possibly Winnipeg, Calgary. Like, you look at Columbus, and they've got a couple unrestricted free agents that they've got to get rid of. Yeah,
I'm going to throw this one at you right now, because we're talking Columbus, and we'll talk the Golden Knights. Golden Knights need offense. They need offense. They just don't have a sniper on this team. It hasn't been as good a year for Billy the Kid. Marchessault's still scoring goals, but not at the same rate he did last year. To me, go ahead and take a shot. I know he's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year, but maybe you can re-sign him here in Vegas. This is an attractive destination. I would make a deal. It might cost them somebody like Cody Eakin, but I would try and get Panarin from the Blue Jackets, because the Blue Jackets probably going to have to move him.
Yeah, I think they have to move him. You got like $6 million cap hit with Panarin, and you look at they've got to move a couple guys. Like, I honestly think they have to move Bobrovsky. He's not going to resign next year, and he's like 7.4 cap hit as well too. The thing is that with Columbus, I think they will move Panarin, but they've got to get someone to fill that spot. And, they're looking at guys like Duchesne, even though he's a center. They're looking at Stone from Ottawa. I'm not sure if Ottawa's going to. I think the value on Stone keeps getting higher and higher as everyone talks about him.
I think Ottawa might deal Duchesne. I got a feeling they're going to try and lock Stone up and keep him there. He can be the leader on that team for years to come. A veteran guy, a real quality player, and they've got a lot of young talent. And if I'm Ottawa, I'm not dealing Stone. Let me hand it off to Ralph here, and he can set you up for some soccer.
Before we get to soccer, Carm, I know you went on a 22-1 run earlier in the NHL. Tell our listeners about your current run now in hockey.
Yeah, it's always a thing of streaks. You know what I mean? Put together a good one and then lose a couple. It's never a big losing streak, which is great. But we've got 11 in a row right now in the NHL after the Leafs 5-2 win in Colorado last time out, and we're going for number 12 tonight. It's just been a very good NHL season for me. The unders are hitting, the overs are hitting. The very small favorites or very small dogs are coming through, and it's and listen, along the way, as you guys know, we get a couple lucky bounces when you have those puck line games and you get an empty netter. It's a new NHL now.
When you go 22-1, you're going to get some breaks. That happens. That's the difference between a great streak. But yeah.
It's a new NHL now. It's a faster game, but it's also what you see at the end of the game that has changed. Yeah, you now see teams down 2 pulling their goalie with 4 minutes left.
Well, that's why
pulling their goalie with 2.5 minutes left. In the old days, you stared at that goalie with a minute left, thinking, when is he coming out?
It's changed everything, and it's why. And now the numbers are starting to catch up. You're not getting the real good return on minus a goal and a half, because it took the odds makers a while to connect, or maybe the bettors. But minus 1.5 used to be an awful bet, a really bad bet in the NHL from a math standpoint, and it's not anymore. It's just not anymore, because if you can get plus 160, if you like a side and you can get plus 160 minus a goal and a half, go that way.
And you've split a lot of your bets, Dave, when you do that. Yeah, absolutely.
You got 3 minutes of empty net. Okay, good chance this is going to be a goal. I mean, to me, it's changed the whole dynamic.
Yeah, not for anything. Like I said earlier, my play that I put up for free was over the total in the Winnipeg game. Obviously, I expect Winnipeg to do most of that scoring, and the money line's 166. The puck line is minus 1.5 plus 158. So you split them up, like you said, Dave, and you're getting a good return either way.
Carm, let's move to soccer for a couple minutes. And, we know your 5% plays have just been superior in soccer. And, nowadays, I go through my cable guide, and there's 2 or 3 different soccer games on every day in the morning. When we talk about it at the Superbook, how they have fans there early in the morning watching it. And, we know it's been the number one sport across the world, but it's certainly catching up here. And you've been a follower for a while. Tell us what's going on now in soccer. I know we're in some playoff situations, and then give us a best bet as well. Yeah,
the Champions League and the Europa Leagues, their competitions restarted this week on Tuesday. It's a knockout stage where you have 8 different matchups. They'll play a home and away, and then it's the total aggregate goals to see who advances. And then the Europa League, there's 32 teams in the knockout stages. Last year we had a great year. Europa 17-2 during the playoffs, which was pretty good, I would think. And same with Champions League. We had a big play yesterday on Real Madrid. They came through for us. But looking at next week, listen, You guys probably see a lot of the EPL teams. Man United was one of my only losses this week. They got completely